what's in the box. Paper. More paper. Paper. More paper. And then a shovel. A shovel. Believe it or not, this one has a slightly different handle on it, but it is the same exact build for the bottom of the shovel. Believe it or not, a subscriber to the channel, look how much that thing's got worn down and bent and used over the years. But this is the exact same. It's the exact same shovel. It's got a slightly different handle up at the top, but someone did in fact figure out my shovel. So thanks to a subscriber named Katie, I now have a new version of my old shovel. It does have a slightly different handle. They've put a different handle on it now. This one is, I've had this one for a long, long time. It's one of the few, I had a landscape company for a long time, and I've been doing this, landscape garden center nursery thing for 37 years or something like that. And when you have employees, they'll figure out the way, when you have different people using tools differently, they tend to break. And this shovel has survived, a crew of landscapers, and then survived me, leaving it everywhere outside for the last, for I don't know how long I've had this thing, maybe 20 years now at this point. But it's just a great shovel. I bought trenching shovels because we had to do a lot of trenching. We're putting in irrigation, we're putting in drain pipes, for people, gutter drainage and things like that, and then started using it just as actual, as the shovel to dig holes for plants, and found that I was planting much faster than anyone else on my crew using this little skinny shovel. It just cuts through much easier, just the amount of force it takes to sink this, into the ground versus, a much wider 10-inch shovel. Especially, I think I'm big enough, physically strong enough to use a regular shovel and put it down in the ground. But if you're smaller than me, certainly this is easier to put down in the ground. This is an extremely well-made tool. It's really thick. This one's actually a little heavy as a new shovel. It's amazing the difference in weight between these two from being worn down. But it's not only been worn down in length, it's also been worn down in the actual thickness of the metal here. You can see I've mixed concrete with it over the years, and the concrete is stuck to it, concrete or a mortar or something like that, because it was my mortar mixing shovel as well. And it's extremely well made. The steel collar on this fiberglass makes it, has just made it hold up extremely well. But it was getting to the end of its life. There's cracks in the fiberglass, and once that starts happening, sometimes you'll get splinters in it. If you had fiberglass splinters before, it's not fun at all. Had that experience, unfortunately. But anyway, thanks to, again, a subscriber, I now have this shovel, and I use this shovel. If there was only one tool I was ever going to have, it would be this tool, because I can chop roots, I can edge, I can plant, literally almost any task, I can do with this. I could probably figure out how to rake leaves with it if I needed to, but I'll show you real quick. Now, what happened, and I kind of like this, I would prefer not to have this point on it. So that point wore off over time. It's good for, kind of sticking straight down in the ground for digging, but I like to have that little, what happens over time is this, and then it breaks roots really easily. It helps you cut through roots, which sometimes is more important than, cutting through the soil. But I'll use, this is my edging shovel. It works, works really well for that. Let's dig a hole somewhere. The one thing the new shovel will be able to do better with that point on it is just going straight down into the ground like that. It's going to cut in a lot better. The thing about this one is that I've bent. Look right here. There's a spot here to step on the back of it, right there. And those have bent completely away, you can see. over time. So this one now, unfortunately, puts holes in the bottom of my shoe as I use it. That's like a point on the edge right there. And I wish one design thing would be to make that lip a little bit bigger, you know, on that, because it's such a small little spot and it will wear out over time. But these things, I mean, you can see how much I'm able to put that down in the ground, and then it's a strong enough tool that I can pull back on it just a bit, and then I can go to a spot right next to it and a spot right next to it, just like that. And look how easy that is, you know, to make that hole. And then there's clay down here below this, and this thing will just cut. It'll just cut right through it. With this long, narrow shovel, I can basically dig a post hole just like that, straight down in there. But really makes quick work of digging. You can see how, you know, much faster you can dig a hole with this thing. One of the things I've always used this trenching shovel for is creating, you know, being able to create an edge up against a hard, something hard, like a sidewalk. In this case, it's the curb. I can just take it on this angle like this and just pull back and create that little trench edge along the edge of that concrete easily. And now I can mulch and it'll fall right in there. You can, you know, clean it up just like that. Good to go, really quick and easy to just go along hard surfaces and prepare them for a mulching later. Another thing I use my shovel for, which any tool would work for, is making sure that I'm planting slightly above the grade. So after I dig a hole, you know, take that, you know, get the hole prepared, I'll put the shovel next to the hole, and I want the root ball of the newly planted plant at the top of the shovel, of the handle. And that then I know it's at least the thickness of the handle above the grade. So after I set my plant in there, and then I just feel for the edge of it, just like that. And as long as it's that high, you know, I backfill it really quickly. So it's, you know, dig the hole, lay it next to it, set my plant in there. If my plant's too deep, if it's deeper than this, I throw some soil back in. If it's too high up, I dig a little deeper and, you know, just keep rolling. This brand is called Structron. I can't find, this is a 5-inch wide blade, which is what my original one was, and I couldn't find it when Katie sent me the photo of it and said, "Is this your shovel?" I knew it immediately because the stickers on it I remembered at that point. I bought it at like Lowe's or Depot or something like that. I don't know. Just in I would show up on a job site and the guys would have 3 tools, and I go, "Where are the tools?" And they had broken 4 of them. I mean, that's just normal. I think that's a normal part of landscaping. And I just go and buy a set of tools, and then this one just outlived and outlasted everything, and it's just been such a valuable tool for me. And it's been one of the things. It's like this shovel and Holly, you know, are things that people recognize, you know, that recognize from the channel. And so when she sent me the photo of it, I looked on Amazon and I couldn't find this 5-inch version on Amazon. So I'm going to link a 4-inch one down at the bottom from Amazon if you want something a little lighter. So if you need a shovel a little bit lighter than normal, that 4-inch one would be absolutely fine. The 5-inch one I got from another company, and I'll link that down below too. So if you want the 5-inch one, this full-size one, it'll be linked, and then the 4-inch one I'll link if you need something that's a little lighter. Again, because when it's new, it's fairly heavy. This is really thick. I mean, I think you can hear this probably. I mean, it's a substantial piece of steel, and that's the reason it's lasted so long. Not inexpensive for, you know, as tools go, but I didn't think too bad. You know, I mean, everything is gotten so expensive, but incredibly excited that I was able to, you know, buy a new one after all this time. I just figured one day this one would break, and then that would be that, and I'd move on to some other shovel, because I've tried other trenching shovels, and it's for me, what mattered with this one was, number one, how well built it is. That steel collar is really well designed. It's a big, heavy piece of steel, and this angle, for some reason, this is the proper angle. I've got ones that that didn't curve like this, that had more of a rigid angle, and for some reason I didn't like using them at all. And then more of a straight one, of course, you can get trenching shovels that are absolutely straight, but they're really difficult then to pull something out of the hole. So it's this middle ground between a very angular piece, which is good for digging. Anyway, it's that combo, that curve, the middle ground between the straight and the angular seems to make it function for so many different things, for edging and for digging and for, just whatever general work you need for a shovel in the garden. It makes it so much easier to cut through rock and roots and clay and those kinds of things. So anyway, thanks again, Katie, for finding my shovel, and thanks everybody for following along with the channel and my weird obsession with this shovel. Thanks for watching.